In today's show, we're going to be going over the 16-word sales letter. This is a book by Evaldo Albuquerque. I just probably butchered that. A proven method of writing multi-million-dollar copy faster than you ever thought possible. This book has been huge for us in our agency. We're actually starting to use this book in all the copy we're writing on our landing pages. So you're going to see that more in the YouTube descriptions. You're going to see it more on our landing pages at profitablepineapple.com if you go check that out. But this is an amazing copywriting book, and we're going to be discussing it today in our coaching call. So if you're interested in joining our coaching calls where we have this book club once a month where we pick a book and then we go over it together, we sometimes try to bring the author on of the book as well to discuss it with them. If you're interested in joining that, head to profitablepineapplefarm.com, profitablepineapplefarm.com. Join us live as we do that. You're going to see a lot of people interacting today. So check it out. 16-word sales letter. Hope you enjoy this conversation.
Justice, thanks again for recommending this book. In our Pineapple group chat, Travis was saying he read it 5 times and it was the best book ever. And at first I was like, okay, all right. But then I sat down and I started reading it and I was like, yeah, this is kind of the best book ever. I was like, I kind of agree with them on this. Today, I want to talk about a few things that came from the book, specifically your one belief and the 10 questions that you need to answer to absolutely kill every sales letter that you write. And if you guys do this, you'll improve your copy. The cool thing is your copy doesn't even actually have to be that good. If you're like some people, you just throw in the chat GPT and you're good to go, right? But if you take a moment, I just wanted to ask you guys, we'll get a pen and paper, go open up Microsoft Word, do whatever it is you got to do, because I wanted to kind of go through this process with you together. You might not have everything figured out on this call, but at least you guys will have a good understanding of what you need to do. Who here was actually captivated by the book? For me, it was specifically right off the bat when the author mentioned Kennedy, when he said, we choose in this decade to go to the moon. That was my first, I was like, I'm going to love this book. Nobody else felt good.
I liked the little examples that they had with regards to just different things in history, especially with starting with Kennedy. It was very interesting how the book that Hitler put together, of just the rhetoric there, the ultimatum idea of kind of, if this doesn't happen, it's either this or that. There's no other options. That was interesting. And also too, with the us versus them thing, that also interesting how, they use kind of that rhetoric in certain areas of just like the real life examples. I thought that was kind of interesting in points.
No, I agree. And I loved how they specifically pointed out that why copy is so important, because if you do it right, you can get the entire nation to back your plan. And they proved that with Kennedy in the space race, and they proved it with Hitler and all the terrible stuff that he did. But Justice, what was your favorite part of the book? What got you so hooked on this?
So, and I've been teaching this to a lot of people, and I think if it gets skipped over, it's like, especially if you're going, whether on Amazon or off Amazon, the number one thing in there is the mechanism. And that was the thing that I realized, I wasn't hearing from a lot of marketers, from a lot of people. But then it's like, once you see it everywhere. Mm-hmm. You just absolutely see it everywhere. With what everyone is selling, you just cannot unsee it. And so as I've been trying to help people that are trying to sell off of Amazon, one of the biggest things I've asked them is, hey, especially if you're in a saturated market, hey, what's your mechanism here? What is it? How are we going to do it? If you're selling protein, if you're selling whatever, your mechanism really is what makes you unique in a saturated market. And I had just never heard that before. And I'd been around e-commerce business owners and different brands for a long time, and no one had ever said that. And so now it's like the flashlight when I'm looking over people's landing pages or looking at their ads, it's going, after all the other stuff that's just you need to be looking for, I'm like, is there a mechanism in here at all? And if you look at the best brands out there, it's just dead center. It's just, look at all of Apple's products, every single one. Even if they come out with a bag that goes for your pets or for keeping track of stuff, there's a unique mechanism in there. That was by far my biggest takeaway from the book, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, and to piggyback back on what you said, Justice, with the Apple thing, how in the 80s, how Apple was okay, we're the cool one, they bring in the pretty girl. And then the reverse, what was it, 5-10 years ago, the Mac versus PC, that the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how they kind of fought back and forth all these years.
It's wild.
Because now it is us versus them. People are like, oh, are you Android? Oh, or are you Apple?
There's a few things I wanted to hit on in this book review. The big thing is the mission of the one belief and going over the 10 questions you need to ask when doing any kind of sales copy. So starting off with the described mission of the one belief. So to have great copy, you need to have your readers actually want to read your copy, because even bad copy is good copy if you can get people to actually read it. Copy can be hard because people have short attention spans and they need to be entertained. So right away, fresh out of the gate, you got to really grab their attention. Personal example of this was on Mother's Day. I had my inbox completely full of all these companies and all these brands saying, Happy Mother's Day for your mother, things along those lines. And then one company stood out and it said, Happy MILF Day. I won't say who the brand is, but it immediately grabbed my
attention. Say who the brand is. You got to give him a shout out.
It's Effing Good Snacks by Damian Law. He has great copy. He's got even better products. Go follow him. I was reading the email because at first I was like, Happy MILF Day. I was like, this is either going to be super offensive or it's going to be amazing. And I need to read it no matter what. So I clicked on it. I read through the email and it was great. It was great. It was basically a shout out from him saying a shout out to his mom. But that's the thing he used to really grab your attention. Right out of the gate, you really need to grab your readers with the one belief. And the idea is to write down one strong belief that you have about starting your own business, and then answering 10 questions about the influences, the risks, the consequences people have by facing this belief. You want the reader to believe overall in that one belief. What is the one belief, right? The one belief has 3 key elements that you need to answer. What is your new opportunity? What is your prospect's desire? And then what is the new mechanism? So you might tell these people about the opportunity in your new business. You'll present them as well describing your plan or proposed strategy. They'll have to believe that your super awesome new idea will solve the problem or be what they desire most. It's key to remember that your new opportunity is key to your prospect's desire, and it only works if it provides them benefits. So to be a success, you need to give them what they want and offer them real value for their money. It can't just be these magic beans, if that makes sense. It can show up in many different forms, but the important thing is that you really want to identify what specific benefit will look like in your prospect's eyes and then deliver it. So let's answer some of these questions. So your new opportunity, what is that? Your new opportunity can't be being healthy and exercising because it's not new. Everyone knows you should do it. Everyone knows you got to work out and eat healthy to lose weight. But your new opportunity has to tie into your unique selling proposition, your USP, or your idea is worthless. In the book, the author describes this as talking about, hey, it's not your fault you couldn't lose weight. The reason you're not losing weight is because your testosterone is down. But if you take my testosterone supplements, you'll start losing weight. It's a unique selling point on the specific problem that your person is trying to solve. The next area is your prospect's desire. The main thing to remember is that your new opportunity can't be the key to their desire only if it provides benefits. It needs to make them feel more significant, respected, and valued. It can also be used to eliminate the risk of events that negatively impact them. Some other examples could be the desire to lose weight, lower blood pressure, build more muscle, and then finally the new mechanism. Once your readers believe that your new opportunity is the key to their desire, now they must believe that you're the only one who can meet that need, and only your new mechanism can help them. So once you have all 3 figured out, you want to write down your new opportunity, desire, and new mechanism into a sentence. I wanted to give you guys some examples here from the book of what this looks like. And if you guys follow this format, you can write down all 3 of these real easily. So the examples that they gave in the book. The one belief for P90X. Avoiding the plateau effect, the new opportunity, is the key to building muscle, the desire, and it's attainable only through the P90X muscle confusion system, the new mechanism. The one belief for Jeff Walker's product launch formula. Warming up your prospects, new opportunity, and it's attainable only through Jeff Walker's product launch formula, the new mechanism. And then I'll give you guys one more here. It says the one belief for proactive. Attacking acne at every stage of the cycle, the new opportunity, is the key to keeping your skin clear and healthy looking, the desire, and is attainable only through Proactive's combination therapy, the new mechanism. Write down your one belief, and then if anyone wants to share, I'd love to hear it.
Hey, it's Dr. Travis Ziegler, and I wanted to thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to take a brief couple seconds to let you know about a free Amazon PPC masterclass that I have. Just head to profitablepineapple.com to sign up for that free Amazon PPC masterclass, or you can click the link down below in the description. I'll see you inside.
I've written a couple sales letters since reading this book and working on a couple more, but these are my two beliefs that I have written. Service, not product selection, is the key to building a multi-million-dollar company, and it's only attainable through a radical generosity system. That's the book I'm working on as well. That was one that I worked on with Justice for the last couple months. And then this is one I wrote the other day. Peptides, which is the new opportunity, not probiotics, are the key to healing your gut and eliminating GI issues, which is your desire. And it's only attainable through Dr. Dan's specially formulated peptide with turmeric called BPC 157, which I'm sure most of you guys have never heard of unless I've talked to you about it.
That's awesome.
That shows you it's a new mechanism if most of you guys haven't heard of it though. And then I have one more, I didn't post it, but fractional real estate investing, which is the new opportunity, is the key to start building passive income and lifetime wealth. And it's only attainable through Lofty's patented real estate investing platform. So I'm writing actually one for another business.
Awesome. I love that. I'd love to hear from Andrea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what is it that makes it new, like the unique selling proposition part of it.
What does Ryan do on his calls that people hire him for?
He's very personable. He really gets to know them and like gets to know their problems.
What does he tell them to do? What is he conveying to them to get them to act? What's his action?
To get them to sign up for coaching. He helps them with improving their lives and building systems to help them with their ADHD. The desire is for them to be able to have more successful lives despite their ADHD, to be able to have improved work life, improved family life, and to like overcome their ADHD symptoms with these strategies. So that's the desire for that, improve your life despite your ADHD.
Andrea, what is the name of his process that he takes them through after they sign up?
The client journey.
Does he tell them that he's taking them through a client journey, or does he tell them something else?
That's like the process, doing a test to determine what their character strengths are, and then to write out their goals, and then to
that's the issue.
I think what he's asking is you need to have a name for the specific journey that you're taking them on. So a client journey could be for any business basically. Yeah. But like what's the specific?
Look at the 3 examples I posted. So the 3 examples, one is Dr. Dan's specially formulated peptide called BPC 157. He calls it BBC Prime. He named it BBC Prime because that's his formula. The second one is Lofty AI. Lofty AI is the platform that does this fractional real estate. And then the one that we did it's a working name title right now, but it's called the Radical Generosity System. It's made up. It's your mechanism that gets your clients from A to Z, and you can make it whatever you want. And he needs to name it, pinpoint it a little bit more. I think this would be a good book for Ryan to go through and for you to go through. Obviously, you have gone through it, but to write a specific sales letter for Ryan's business and his landing page that he sends people to. Because the goal of this first part of the book is just to get the clients they don't even see this part. When you're writing the sales letter, this is like your end goal, is you want to convince people that service, not product selection, is the key to building a multi-million-dollar company. You want to convince people that peptides, not probiotics, are the key to healing your gut and eliminating GI issues. You want to convince people that fractional real estate investing is the key to start building passive income and lifetime wealth. So what is that new opportunity that Ryan offers that's going to create the desire? You guys have the desire down, and then you have to name it something. And it's only attainable through this system. And that's Ryan's system. That's his coaching program.
Hey, would it be along the lines of understanding yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I suffer from ADHD. If you haven't noticed, I'm looking around like 3, 4, 5 different monitors. That's a big like trigger. Like, why is no one else like me? Like, what's my problem?
We do say, Randy and Travis, get your client from flustered to focused. You want to go from flustered to focus.
The flustered to focus system.
Okay.
Look.
It can be as simple as that.
Yeah. Naming the client journey, the specific client journey system is the flustered to focus system. And that's the new opportunity. And their desire is to improve your life in your work life and your home life by conquering your ADHD. And the new opportunity is ADHD coaching with Ryan. Or no, what's the mechanism then?
Mechanism is the name of the system.
Okay.
Adam here. I've got a suggestion. You can even do one of those statements, like the ultimatum of like, You either get your ADHD in check or you don't. If you don't get your ADHD in check, or you live your rest of your life suffering or something. Dig deeper, but that's something that you could definitely do. Kind of give these potential clients that idea.
So real quick, I just wanted to chime in here. I'm going to read you one more example from the book, page 25, that I think will really help break it down. Essentially, you're saying, what is the problem? What is the solution? And then how do we achieve it? So aligning your teeth without ugly braces. So the problem, people want to align their teeth, but they don't want to have ugly braces on. So align your teeth without ugly braces. That's the new opportunity. Is the key to getting a smile that you want without disrupting your life, the desire. They want to have the smile and the perfect teeth they want without disrupting their life. And it's attainable only through the Invisalign proprietary technology. So it's attainable only through Ryan's coaching. The problem is our life is chaotic and we don't have structure. The outcome desire is we want to have structure and feel a sense of not being overwhelmed. And it's only obtained through Ryan's coaching.
Yes, thank you.
Go to the website of alternative ADHD brands.
I don't like the new opportunity, but if you can figure that part out,
I love
it's
it.
controlling your chaos. That's the new opportunity that I think you could do better with, is the key to a successful career in life with ADHD. And it's only attainable through Ryan's fluster to focus system,
Beautiful.
which is the new mechanism.
Yeah, I think the big thing is we just don't have a name for the coaching other than coaching. So I think this mechanism, name to the mechanism, is really good.
And Jenna says she likes that. So maybe controlling your chaos is what you want to be doing. So that's your one belief. So whenever you're writing copy, everything needs to be around that. So when you're going through the questions in this book, you're, okay, how can I go back to that?
Yeah.
Real quick for Andrea, are you guys running Facebook ads to a calendar for people to book a call with him?
So that is something we need to get on very soon. Up to this point, Justice, everything has been 100% organic through social media, and we are ready to start doing ads, and we want to sign up for that Travis thing with the new system he started a couple weeks ago with getting the free Google ad money, and really start ramping things up.
Awesome. One of the things that I would recommend is going to Alex Hormozi's book on offers. Combined with this, I think will be really powerful for you guys to read together.
$100 million offers.
Yes.
It's a really good book.
You might not need to run ads if you've been doing this already just off of referrals. You getting a unique mechanism and really pumping organic content just based off of naming things and talking about the benefits, shouting out customer testimonials, and that they use this mechanism. Everyone use this fluster to focus, and really making every way that people have tried to get focus that have ADHD and failed, and just speaking to those pain points like crazy, and then bringing in the fluster to focus, then showing testimonials. A really simple landing page to a calendar to book a call off of organic content, I could see doing a ton of damage. With this mechanism, I think it'll give you guys the freedom to feel like you can charge more. Because people will be like, oh, there's like a thing. I'm getting a thing. You have to look at it like a product.
Right. And Justice, Ryan launched it last month. We do have a product now that's $99. We're ready to just sell that, because it's, it can be passive income now too.
Cool. It's just a course.
The course. Yeah. It's a 10-day text message based course. How to find work that works for your ADHD.
Sweet. What do you mean a text message based course?
It literally comes to your phone.
I thought they were texting your husband. And I was like
all of the content comes straight to your phone.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a pretty brilliant idea for ADHD, because it keeps them off their computer, keeps them away from distractions. And so it's right there. It's very focused, 99% open rate or whatever it is. It's big.
Yeah. At the beginning of the day at 9 a.m., they get a 90-second audio of Ryan with his lesson for the day. And then 6 text messages with ADHD coaching questions. And then whenever they finish it and answer the prompt, and then they text back a word to get the next piece. And there's also 5 PDFs included.
Now that we have your one belief down, let's answer these 10 questions. So question number 1, how is this different from everything else I've seen? So copywriting and marketing often begins with the copywriter asking themselves, what's our angle, right? And besides being creative in nature, there has to be an added value that you can add to the lives of those you wish to reach with your message. This is where your USP is absolutely critical. Your sales copy should always begin with your USP to make sure it doesn't fall under the weird opener category. You should always include your USP somewhere in your headlines and throughout as much of your copy as possible. Essentially, your USP is an elevator pitch for you to describe your new opportunity that you've discovered and that you want to reveal to others. This can be anything at all related to weight loss, dieting, fitness, etc. But most importantly, it just needs to be related. Specifically when it comes down to the opportunity, which will feel like a breakthrough to your clients. The example they gave in the book says, "Hi, I'm Alan Cookman, and I'll introduce myself further in just a moment. But first, look at this clipboard in my hand," and then you showed a picture of a clipboard. "It was filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to protect an invention of a powerful new market indicator. This is an indicator that can tip you off about impending big market news before the news becomes public or available to most investors." And then did you guys see how right out of the gate, he goes straight for his USP? A powerful new market indicator. This is an indicator that can tip you off about impending big market news before the news becomes public or available to most investors. So he came right out of the gate to say it to kind of grab your attention, because if that's something you're interested in, you're more likely to continue reading the rest of his copy. So what is your guys' USP? And what makes the thing that you do or that you sell different from everything else that's already out there on the market?
I could give my example of following the peptide example and continuing on with that. This is my exact copy. I remember the days when I'd spend every hour in the bathroom suffering from constant diarrhea, bloating, and gas. It was a painful experience that left me exhausted and feeling miserable every day, not to mention embarrassed. I tried everything from probiotics to prebiotics to fiber supplements, going vegan to carnivore to gluten-free, which worked best, to dairy-free, but nothing seemed to provide a lasting solution. But then one day, everything changed, and it's all thanks to peptides. Peptides have completely changed my life. I no longer suffer from constant diarrhea, bloating, or gas. And the best part is that I only have to go to the bathroom once a day, right at 9 a.m. daily. And then I said TMI, the smiley face.
I like that.
I help good people take great shits copy. That was the working title of this sales letter. But I think the point with that is I talk about the new opportunity, but I don't talk about the product yet. And I address pain points and how I've solved them. So it kind of goes through all the pain points of diarrhea, bloating, and gas, and embarrassment, and feeling exhausted and miserable. And then everything I've tried, which is probably everything they've tried. And then it goes into how peptides, it introduces what it was. It doesn't introduce like BPC right away. It introduces what a peptide is.
I like that. I haven't heard from John yet today. John, I wanted to see what your USP was. What are you selling? What makes you different in the marketplace?
So I sell chlorella and spirulina tablets, helping people with health through algae. Once I learned about how powerful algae was, I started getting a bunch of people on it. I started selling it and finding the best source and all that kind of stuff. So
what do you put in your copy that makes you different from every other one on the marketplace?
I don't have a proper sales page, to be honest, but I put where it's manufactured. It's manufactured in Taiwan, which is one of the cleanest sources with the most restrictions on how they can grow things. Mm-hmm. And then it's also micronized. So that's another thing that we do, which makes it even smaller, more absorbable by the body. And yeah, that's really the only things that make it that unique versus something else. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing. So moving on to question 2, what's in it for me? So tell me, which of these 2 statements do you think would make your child want to do their homework more? First statement, I feel like you're always on your computer when you got homework to finish. Go finish your homework. Or as soon as we get home, if you take care of your homework, then we can go play some soccer. So it's question 2, right? One of the most effective ways to start your sales letter and advertisement is by writing the most outrageous benefits your product can offer a customer. You don't want to be selling to them. You don't want to be demanding of them, but you just want to show them the benefits right off the bat. Kind of like how Dr. Ziegler did with, hey, I've had all these problems and I've done all this stuff to fix my bathroom issues. Then he goes into how it can solve it without actually talking about the specific product. So don't hold back, go all out. Consider putting yourself in your customer's shoes when you're writing your copy and ask yourself, if I was shopping for this item, what promises could I make that would get me salivating? This can also be found in $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. He talks about making a deal or making an offer so outrageously good, it sounds stupid to say no. But now that you've got your attention of your audience and you kind of started building their interest, how can you make sure you deliver? You've already proven to them that there's more to this than just bluster. And if you don't prove that, then your whole campaign can just really quickly unravel. And that leads us into the third question, which is, how do I actually know this is real? And following the initial 2 questions, your customers may be skeptical, so you should always use stories to help clarify your point. As humans, we all love a good story. And the one you can have an in the moment discussion is that it doesn't always allow you to be too deep of level. You can create your story using the ABT method, which is the and, but, thus. And this allows you to really focus on important points. So if you watch any Hollywood movie, if you watch any TV show, the writers usually follow the and, but, thus method. And that is an example of this I had pulled here from the book. It says, a young man travels to the past in a time machine and meets his future parents, but accidentally distracts his mother from noticing and falling in love with his father. But because of that distraction, he will cease to exist if they don't fall in love. So, or thus, he has to get them together or he'll vanish. The ABT method is a great template that you can use to veer off and slightly with some eye-catching lines. And the book does a great example of this by saying, the company had a sell rating and was showing negative earnings. Investors said they thought the company would go bankrupt with good reason too. But my indicator flashed a signal for buy. At first, thus, nothing happened, but when the market opened the next day, boom, shares soared higher. If you had placed a trade based on the signal as well, you could have made quick money too. Have you guys used an ABT method in any of your copy before? And how are you letting your clients know that it's actually real?
Yeah, I had kept peptide example. I said peptides have been around for over 50 years and have shown potential to heal ailments all over your body, but you'd have to get them by injection. Therefore, it could cost you thousands of dollars for a doctor's visit and the injection. But there's a new peptide on the market that can be taken orally and can heal an abundance of tissues, including tendons, ligaments, muscles, and bones. But this particular peptide does its best work in your gut.
I love that. Let me ask Justice, have you used the ABT method?
Kind of, not to this degree, to my own detriment. It's a little bit different, but not to this degree. And I think I totally should.
What I did with that is the full sales letters at the top and then the templates at the bottom. So you can actually use the template to see what sections I wrote and where I wrote them. And then I put it all together at the top so you guys can kind of see how it's broken down.
Jenna, I know you write a lot of sales copy. Do you kind of follow this method at all?
No, I mean, this is really the first time that I've heard of it. I don't write a lot of long form sales copy. I mostly do, email marketing, which is a little shorter. I mean, you can definitely use it in your email marketing, but I haven't done a lot of long form sales letters like his examples.
Chris, I actually think that you use that method whenever you write for the Hangry Nut emails. Even though you're probably not doing it, it does seem like you're kind of following it fairly closely.
I appreciate that. If you guys haven't signed up for the Hangry Nut, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. I'll have somebody link it if somebody can. Whoever writes the emails, man, they're on point because those emails are fire. It's me, you guys. So question number 4, what's holding me back? So the book says it's time to reveal the real question you should be concerned about when it comes to question number 4, about what's holding me back. It can be really difficult to determine when prospects are ready to buy and when products and services, and when it often comes down to knowing how far ahead your market is in terms of demanding where they truly are. The example, sticking with the similar experiences given so far in the book, it says, another issue is the timing itself. You're hopping on this action only once everything is moving. This is a small window of opportunity that's created by large news stories and investment opportunities. You should take advantage of this rather than jump on late like most people do. And the idea is that you're preparing them for a positive change and you're making sure that they aren't going to be overwhelmed while they try out this new option with you. At this point, the chances are good that prospects will plan on using your product. You've already established that what you offer is the only alternative. And so at this stage, all of their prior beliefs should be starting to shift toward your one belief that we'd covered earlier. And then this can lead to conversion pretty easily. This leads right into question number 5. Who/what is to blame? So this is when you want to use the us versus them question to your advantage. So I want to pause and make a quick caveat. This all sounds like a lot, but all of these questions should be answered in a fairly short time frame. So if you're writing email copy, it should be all answered pretty quickly within, a few sentences of each other. But so the us versus them mentality. So if you set a common enemy, it'll bring together people who usually fight with each other. So look at the popular brands, Black Rifle Coffee Company and Starbucks. They both stand for widely, completely opposite things, and their fans go absolutely bananas over their products. because they frame their messaging and they frame their targeting as an us versus them. So you want to take advantage of what your customer already believes and frame your messaging to be an us versus them. You're not trying to teach them anything new. Another example of this is, if you haven't ever heard of this company, check out drops.com. It'll pop up there in a second. But drops.com is their us versus them is climate change. Straight from their website, it says, we harness the power of nature to make products that are convenient, that are really clean. By using drops, helping turn the tide against toxic pollution, plastic waste, and animal cruelty. Oh, and the dirt in your home. They're an anti-chemical, anti-big chemical company, and they're pro-environment. So that already shifts the mind of an us versus them. So before I moved on, I wanted to kind of ask you guys, in your own brands and your own businesses, what is your us versus them?
One thing that sets us apart with Profitable Pineapple is that a lot of times on the applicant sales calls for Travis and I, a lot of times when we explain, like, one of the reasons why we started up the agency was previous agencies had overpromised, underdelivered, overspent. And then, with us, we try to underpromise, overdeliver. We try to work with the client from an owner's perspective and based on profit. So that's one of the things that we do in the agency of the us versus them.
I don't know if we underpromise, but we don't say we're going to shoot them to the moon like everybody.
Well, yeah, we try not. Right.
I just tell them that we're going to use our strategy, and it works for 90% of businesses, but there are some people it doesn't work for, but it works for most people. I'll continue my peptide example. Before I get too far into the weeds of how this peptide works, let me tell you a little bit about my story. I go into my story a little bit more, and then I'm sure you felt like this as well, and I'm here to tell you that it's not your fault. These big, greedy pharmaceutical companies educate the doctors on the best medications to use for our gut issues. All they do is cover up what is really going on. This gets us addicted to these expensive medications, costing us thousands of dollars on doctor's visits and prescriptions. I'm actually just rewriting my sales copy from my dry eye days, just like reformatting it a little bit.
I love it. We'll move on. So the next question is why now? When answering this question, you're going to encounter 4 different types of resistance, 4 different levels of resistance. And the levels are reactance, distrust, scrutiny, and inertia. So the book broke them down like this. Reactance. Many marketers say that you should make your product seem more attractive as an option early in the sales pitch as possible. When describing your product, they highlight the benefits and how it solves your customer's problem, and not just the features of the price. This is called making an appealing offer, and sometimes it's the number one mistake. But although this will help attract your customers at a time when they're checking out of your site, it may not be fully invested in what you're trying to sell them yet. And that's going to cause them to not be committed to buying anything. The next level is distrust. People are naturally distrustful of things and people that they don't know. We live in a world today where everyone is constantly bombarded with scam calls and sales offers and the magic cure-all beans that don't be surprised that when they just don't trust you at first. However, if you answer question 3 early on, it'll help you kind of destroy this. And question number 3 was, how do I know this is real? The third level of resistance is scrutiny. Your prospects will have to see the proof. People buy from their emotions and then justify their choice rationally. This is why a lot of people binge shop when they've had a bad day. They do this to make themselves feel better, and then they just rationalize their purchases later. And then the last level of resistance is inertia. Inaction is easier than action. So it's good to ask yourself, why should I act now? Why should they buy now instead of tomorrow or the next day? And to combat this resistance, you need to use FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. It's either take action now or wait and be left behind. Does anyone have a good example of when they saw FOMO used properly to send them over the threshold to purchase something when they were initially going to hold off?
I have I didn't participate in it, but I've seen what's become really popular is a couple of those cookie companies around the States is like certain day, they sell it in like 24 hours and then they're out. And then it's like countdown and then the next time. And then that's a really good fear of missing out marketing strategy.
Awesome. I see FOMO all the time in a lot of the emails because half the time when I'm invested in like a course and I think, oh man, this will be a great course for my business. I could definitely learn a lot from this. And I was like, yeah, $3,000 is going to be worth it. Is $2,000 worth it? And I kind of go back and forth and they're like, but if you don't purchase in the next 24 hours, doors are closed, you're not getting in. And that usually is what sends me over the edge of being like, yeah, all right, let's go ahead and pull the trigger because I know I'm going to want to do this anyway. But that leads us into question number 7. Why should I trust you? How to let your prospect know to trust and to like you. The book gives 3 different storylines you can use. And of course, you don't have to use any of these. You can use your own. But these are 3 storylines that the author says he's found that works. And the first storyline is the I've been in your shoes storyline. The goal of this paragraph here is to let your prospect know that you were just like them once. You've been there. You understand how difficult X, Y, and Z challenge is. But the key here is to share what helped you break through that barrier and overcome all the difficulties and all. In other words, how did you succeed when many others are failing? And I wanted to read the example from the book. So if you have the book, if you turn to page 67, that's where they give the example of the copy that they used. And the copy says, you see, when I started investing, I traded expensive blue chip stocks because that's what everyone told me I had to do to get rich in the long run. But those stocks moved way too slow. My portfolio didn't move an inch for months at a time. So I started trading penny stocks. And I started making 20, 40, 50% more in profits in a matter of days. I also didn't start with a lot of money. I grew up in a middle-class kid in a small rural town in Connecticut. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so penny stocks were perfect for someone like me who wasn't rich yet, but wanted to get rich. That's the beauty of penny stocks. You can start with very little money because they traded pennies for $1. And because they're so explosive, you can make a fortune fast. Look what happened to Tim Grutinati. When he started following my strategy a few years ago, he was selling insurance for State Farm and he only had $1,500 to his name. Today, he's a multimillionaire. And that's kind of the example copy he gives of, I've been in your shoes. The second one is the Robin Hood storyline. The Robin Hood storyline is stealing from the rich to give to the poor. And in this example, you're stealing a secret from the rich to give to your reader. This works even better if you accidentally stumble into a secret, that they didn't want you to know. And now you're blowing the whistle, level the playing field. The copy example he gives for the Robin Hood one says, I've spent most of my adult life trading derivatives on Wall Street. As a 22-year-old kid, I was already trading $100 million accounts. After that, the stakes only got higher. At one point, I was personally making millions of dollars per year, going on an annual ski trip to Switzerland where I stayed at a billionaire Richard Branson's chalet, attending lavish events like the Grand Prix in Monaco, even the Kill Bill premiere in the Cannons. If you watch the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, you get the idea. But no matter how much money I made, I wasn't happy working on Wall Street. Helping the rich get richer and watching bankers screw the little guy wasn't fulfilling. So after years of seeing a rotten machine from the inside, I finally had enough and decided to leave everything behind. But here's what's important. When I left Wall Street, I took an income secret with me, only that I've revealed to anyone until today. Do you guys kind of see and understand where the copy's coming from and how he's framing everything? And then the third one was the expert storyline. By positioning yourself as an expert, you'll be able to attract people to buy from you. This can be proven through having written books that include relevant information, been featured on major media outlets such as TV shows and radio stations relating to your niche and field of expertise, and or shared by any experience in the field that establishes him as a person worthy of emulating. So these storylines are not mutually exclusive with one another, and you guys can combine them as needed. Question 8, how does this work? So pay special attention to your beliefs. Remember, in this part is no ABT, but you want to use a story. This is where you want to explore your customers' already existing beliefs. In the book, the author describes a story about how in the 1920s, a farmer went to the doctor for impotence. The doctor said there's nothing that can be done. Well, in the book, the farmer looks out the window. He sees that there's a couple goats doing the dirty. And the farmer asked the doctor if he could skin graft some goat testicles on himself because the farmer already believed at the time goats were very sexually prowess. The doctor initially refused, but the doctor knew that all the farmers believed this. So he decided, let's give it a shot. He did it and it solved the issue. But this wouldn't have worked if it wasn't already there. So what's some examples of already existing beliefs that your customers already have that you can explore? Any existing beliefs?
For people with ADHD, I'm no good. I'm terrible at my job. Nobody thinks I'm good. I'm a failure. I'm terrible at everything I do. I can't do anything right.
Those are some powerful beliefs. Those are a lot of things that you can hit on and say, hey, this is the things that you believe, but this is the things that are not true. And in your case, you're going to have to work on transforming that mindset. You are great. Tony, what's some beliefs that you found in your brand in the fitness space?
A lot of it, especially tailored to people we serve. People are dealing with self-doubt. They're dealing with their worst bouts of depression. So they're saying, there's nothing out there for me. Why would I even try? It's a very realistic perspective. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is just showing them from our side of things is like, just do this one thing and just add on to it over time. And that's like the exercise. It's like, 10 to 15 minutes to start, amplify that, add more time into it. And over time, you're going to get this feel good feeling of the serotonin and the dopamine. And then that's something worth pursuing. Even if it's that small, it's something worth pursuing. So.
Let me give you guys an example that I'm finding in my own brand, my own business. So I'm serving veterans and first responders. I mentioned it early on in this call, but like the existing belief that I'm targeting is veterans and first responders, excuse my language a little bit, believe there's some hard, right? They believe that, they can do anything, they can be anything. They can go out there and climb a mountain with nothing but the David Goggins grit they all feel inside of them, right? So whether that's true or not, they're no different really than anyone else. But at the same time, I'm going to be telling these guys, because I'm a veteran myself, I'm going to be like, yeah, you guys are hard. You guys are amazing. You guys are badasses. There's nobody who can do what you do because only you can do it. Does that make sense? I'm exploring their already existing beliefs, and I'm reinforcing that idea on them. Question number 9 is, how can I get started? So you want to make your offer look so good that it'll take your audience by surprise. This goes back to, as well, the $1 Million Offers book. We know that if you can make an offer too good to be true, then it might turn audiences off. But great strategy for copywriters is to let them think that they don't necessarily need whatever it is that you're selling. But once you describe how awesome it will be for their lives and what they see that they're missing out on, they get super eager to purchase it. Real life example that I find in my own life is there was recently a convention called CapCon. I didn't get a chance to go to it this year. I was going to, but I didn't get to go. And I know that I don't need to go to CapCon, but when I got to see how all these entrepreneurs were coming together and everyone was having all these breakthroughs and everyone did all these really cool things, it immediately justified the price in my mind. And I'm like, I need to buy my ticket right now so I can make sure I don't miss out on it again next year. So the book gives the example of the product being mighty, which means sometimes your best bet is making your product look so amazing and desirable that people don't care about the quality of your writing or your copy so much as the item you're trying to give away or you're trying to sell itself. The author also says to try uplifting your profits with his tried and true trick by focusing on one or both of these strategies in order to hook customers into spending more than they initially intended. So the example they give in the book is people tend to be overconfident in their ability to predict the future. This causes them to be overly optimistic about a variety of situations, especially when predicting positive outcomes. The confident bias also prevents people from planning and preparing properly for anticipated problems in the future. So you want to create inspiring premiums by specifically tailoring them to your offer. Whether they're physical or digital, the key is to ensure that you go above and beyond what your prospects will receive with a basic purchase. And this also goes back into what Dr. Ziegler was saying about how we underpromise, overdeliver, kind of thing. Your premiums have to be so good that they'll knock people off their feet and be so appealing that the prospects will be easily part with their cash just in order to get them. But no matter what happens in the future, the one thing you know for sure is that there will always be a time to end negotiations and to call it quits, which is what leads us into the final question. That's question number 10. What do I have to lose? So it's important not to overdo it in your sales pitch, as you could make people feel as if they're being persuaded or sold to when they aren't necessarily ready for it or don't have enough information. The best way to get this person on board is by just explaining everything in a way that relates to them specifically. This will help you better convey the information, making it easier for both you and them to value your product and potentially settle any concerns that they may have regarding it. You want to try and remind your prospects of what decisions they made in the past that have brought them thus far. And Dr. Ziegler gave a great example of this when he was talking about his bathroom, how he was sitting on the toilet, how he tried all these medications, and how he did all this stuff. And then now he tried this new thing. So your job is to show them that the only way to reach their aspirations and hopes and dreams is by making the right choice. They need to make the decision that's going to change their life before any other opportunity passes them by. And to maximize your chance of success, you want to try and use visual content strategically throughout your sales package. You need to be able to illustrate just how much pain your prospect has been suffering from, as well as paint a perfect picture as to what things will look like when they're finally relieved of all the troubles once and for all. So you're really hitting hard on that pain point, and then you're saying, but once that pain's over, through my new mechanism, this is what your life's going to be like, and it's going to be amazing. So remember, the best and most convincing copy are the ones that build bridges and not walls. And that was my review of the book. I really enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you guys. Any questions, comments, concerns, or fashion tips? Any feedback you have?
I think it was a great book. I am probably going to have to read it again because it was a lot to soak in.
It is a lot.
On just applying it is just kind of overwhelming.
You got me thinking a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, I didn't buy the book yet. I wanted to kind of see, but I didn't read the book. But after hearing this and seeing that outline, and Chris, man, really having you go through the details with it, now I want to buy the book, and I got to go. I can tell like I need it. There's a lot more I need to do with my brand besides just, oh, I have a nice logo and, you know, some nice benefits, you know. Now I need to really create this kind of picture of what the company's all about. So yeah, really great presentation too, man, by the way. Great examples.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys all hopping on the live call. For anyone watching the recording, thank you for that.
If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the Profitable Pineapple Farm. What is that? It's our weekly mastermind where we meet to discuss challenges in your businesses. We put you on the hot seat. We go over best practices and hacks. We go over mindset opportunities and much, much more. Head to profitablepineapplefarm.com to join us. Again, profitablepineapplefarm.com to join us. If we're not open at the time, just join the wait list. Hey, I wanted to thank you for watching this video, and I picked out another video just for you. So make sure you check out that other video. And what do they need to do? Do they need to like and subscribe? Yeah. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. What do you think?